Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we're playing some GlintBlade post bans in Pauper. So we lost Deadly Dispute from the deck, so obviously we had to make some replacements. What I've decided on is a pretty even split of 2 Fanatical Offering and 2 Eviscerator's Insight. I'm not 100% confident this is the right choice, but I'm trying it out. I do think the deck already has some good value. Obviously, Lembas and Inspectors draws a lot of cards. I don't know if we really need to replace the Deadly Disputes with other card draw. We can maybe just use other utility and things like that, and we'll draw the cards that we want anyway. But I figured just to start out, let's try these. I don't think it's unreasonable for us to flash this back. There are tons of games where we get tons of mana, but I didn't want all Eviscerator's Insights, nor did I want all Fanatical Offerings, because I wanted, we want the artifacts from the offering for Refurbished Familiar and other things. The map's not irrelevant. It can definitely buff any of our flyers to deal a little bit of extra damage or make it so that they don't trade as poorly, but also the flashback of the Eviscerator's Insight is really powerful. So that's what we're trying out today. The list otherwise, we've got our Glinthawks and our Skyfishers to pick up our Tithing Blades, Lembas, and our one of Grim Bauble. Skyfishers also combo with Omen of the Dead to pick it up over and over and over. Thraben Charm is a little bit of extra removal, and Graveyard Hate as well. Cast Downs as more removal. The Tithing Blades, of course, and then terrible to see it here, but it makes them sack a creature. You know how it works. Suffocating Fumes, still a one of in the deck. I don't know if this is going to be as necessary. I will say I made some sideboard changes, thinking that red is probably going to be less prevalent. I still want to keep the one of Suffocating Fumes. I don't think red's going away. I just want to make sure that we don't die to it, especially game 1. But in the sideboard, I did take out some cards that I thought were good against red in favor of cards against slower combo decks, which I think are going to be tried by a lot of people right now. Of course, we have 4 Refurbished Familiars. I'm also trying one of Okiba Gang Shinobi in the main deck. Our mana base has a lot going on. Ancient Dens and Vault of Whispers helps get our Familiar out. I don't think we really need the Goldmire Bridges as well, because that's a lot of artifacts. We really only need 3 for the Familiars. So we're doing Forlorn Flats. This pings for a little bit of extra damage. Also is nice with our Orzhov Basilica, which picks it up, or a Skyfisher if we just want to get for 1 damage more. Bajuka Bog is a nice way to hit their graveyard. Kabira Crossroads is a nice way to gain some life. And we have some plains and swamps. For our sideboard, we have 2 standard bearers, but actually these were mostly good against Glee. Also a fine card against Auras and things like that, but we're an Edict deck, so I actually don't think we really need these against them. So I'm going to swap them for an additional copy of Thraben Charm and Duress. These are very good cards, especially against combo decks. Duress is obviously just good to control their hand. Thraben Charm, a lot of combo decks deal with the graveyard or have a relevant enchantment, so I think having more of these isn't bad. Dust to Dust for Affinity, which wasn't hit too badly by the bans. Arms of Hadar, Suffocating Fumes, and Navigator's Compass, just in case we still go up against red, but I was previously playing 2 Suffocating Fumes and the Arms and 4 Navigator's Compass. We'll see if we get burned by this. Burned. But if not, it might be okay to go a little bit lower on these cards for now. So let's take the deck into a league and see how we do. Just a reminder, I recently launched a Patreon account, so if you're interested in supporting me financially, go ahead and check the link in the description. All right, on the play here, pretty reasonable opening hand if they're a creature deck. If they're not, it's pretty bad, but I think our mana is good enough, and we have some card draw with the Inspector that we're going to keep it either way, and just hope that they're on a creature deck that plays 1 creature at a time. Even if they're playing Familiars or something like that, having this much interaction for their creatures will be pretty relevant. So I think we'll just start with the Inspector. If they are playing a combo deck or something, we get to start pinging in for a little bit of damage, but we still can play a Tithing Blade turn 2 if we want to. They play an Aquifer, so it could be Dimir Control or Fae. We get another flat. Swing for 1, and I think we're just going to leave up Vault of Whispers we can cast down if they play like an Augur of Bolas if we want, or we can just crack this Clue token. Probably what we'd do, because we'd probably just Tithing Blade the Augur. Fairy Seer, okay. So Dimir Fae, seeing as they have this extra mana up, we might just want to cast down the Fairy Seer, because if they Spell Pierce it, then we get our Tithing Blade through. I don't want to crack a Clue token and then try to kill this on our turn and it doesn't get through, so let's just go for the cast down, see if they have anything for that. And they do. That's totally fine. We will get to Tithing Blade them. Eviscerator's Insight's not bad. We'll also ping them with the flats and with our Inspector. They Bajuka Bog us. Not crazy relevant against us, but it is a card that interrupts our Tithing Blade or our core Skyfisher loops, so I don't mind seeing that early. Suffocating Fumes. So just attacking, playing our land, leaving up all of our instant speed stuff and our Clue. These flats are helping. They're already down to 5, which isn't bad. We definitely want some more creatures. But if they flash in a Spell Stutter here, do I just Suffocating Fumes? Or do I cast it down? I think they don't play as many Fae as mono blue Fae, and they play more relevant creatures like Throne of the Black Rose, Murmuring Mystic, so I think we're just going for a Suffocating Fumes here, as opposed to using the Cast Down. But I do think we want to keep them off their ninjas. They're already lowish on cards, and definitely don't want to let them get any more. They missed their land drop, which is great for us. We get a Vault, so I'm just going to crack this clue. We get a Thraben Inspector. So I'll swing for 1. If we play Inspector and they have a Spell Stutter, I can cast it down. That means we are susceptible to Murmuring Mystic, but... And if they have a Spell Pierce as well, it's kind of bad. I don't think I need to run this guy out. Part of me wants to, but we really don't want to get Spell Stuttered, and we'd be priced into doing the Cast Down, although we might be doing that anyway here, because we really don't want them to Ninja. And they clearly want to Ninja, which is why they're doing the Spell Stutters. I think we're going to kill it, but it is pretty bad if they get a Murmuring Mystic down here, I will say. But they just definitely seem desperate to get a Ninja going, so I'd rather they don't. There's a Lembas. I'll start with that. They can't Spell Stutter it, so they can full counter it if they want, but that's fine. Looking for... That's pretty good. I would love some of the Glinthawks and Skyfishers, but I'm definitely not putting away a familiar. Swing for 1. Play this guy. That will increase our clock quite a bit. There's the Ninja. So I'm still not going to run this into another Spell Stutter if they have a third. They just have a Cast Down. I will sacrifice this guy then to our Insight. Get a Fanatical Offering. They pass. So we're going to swing. And... So I could flip a Tithing Blade right now. Kind of starts the procession to kill them. And they don't have a ton of ways to interact with it. They flash in a Spell Stutter, it's not great, but we don't really have any way to interact with that anyway. I don't want a Thraben Inspector here. We could just leave up Eviscerator's Insight, though, to draw more cards. I think drawing is probably the better call. They do have another Spell Stutter. So I could Eviscerators, but then if we get like a Cast Down, we can't actually use it. So maybe I just Fanatical. We're going to go for this while they're tapped out anyway. I guess we sack the Lembas. Kind of want that, but I guess we want the Tithing Blade if they Glinthawk. We'll sack the Lembas. I don't really want to sack lands quite yet. We have a lot of ways to use our mana. We do get some more 1-drops, but this Spell Stutter is definitely going to connect this turn if they want it to. There's the Ninja. No removal this time. But we can maybe Tithing Blade it with the Glinthawk, but if they leave up Spell Stutter, that's worse, or rather harder. Cast Down is great. So we can go for the Glinthawk. If they Spell Stutter, I can cast that down. Then we can kill the Ninja. I think we will just do that. That seems solid to me. Kill Spell Stutter. Glinthawk picks up Tithing Blade, which will kill off the Ninja. We get to attack for 1, and they probably aren't playing Arms of Hadar main deck. Probably a Suffocating Fumes just like us. So I think we can run these guys out. And then just pass. Alright, got game 1. They got a little stalled, but they also had a very reactive hand, and we played decently around it, I think. So Fumes is probably good, just for their Fae. Duresses are good. Don't think we need Thraben Charms. Bauble's good. Cast Down's good. I think we can even take this Thraben Charm out. It kills a creature, but they don't really have enchantments, and my Fae list really only cares about the graveyard with 1 Gurmag Angler, so I don't think it's really relevant. I don't think we need as many Inspectors since they're more in the air, so we can cut a couple of those. Kiba Gang still seems decent here. Maybe cut like a Lembas, and maybe we don't need 2 Suffocating Fumes. Yeah, it seems solid. Don't really want to cut card draw. Guess we'll cut another Inspector. I don't know. We don't really need Inspectors too much. They block an Augur, or they double block a Ninja decently, but like, or even chump a Ninja. I think it's fine though. We didn't cut any lands, so this hand is unplayable regardless of how we sideboard. This one is not amazing, but it's fine. Just because we're on the back foot, like we play a Tithing Blade, they can counter it. Yeah, we're gonna keep it, and Familiar's not crazy cheap. I can't really get rid of a land. Could get rid of a Crossroads, but yeah, I guess these are all 2 mana. This will be 2 mana after this, or this hit the field, ideally. I don't think we get rid of a land, so let's do that. Turn 1 Fairy Miscreant. Okay. I wasn't expecting that in the Dimir Fae list. Definitely makes me like the Suffocating Fumes a little bit more. They play another one, and another one. Okay. We saw Bojuka Bog. We saw Contaminated Aquifer. Are they just mono blue Fae that drew really weird, but they are like splashing for Snuff Out, which is not great against us. That's crazy. Well, I could play a Tithing Blade. It just doesn't do anything, really. I think we Lembas, try to find a Suffocating Fumes. Yeah, Tithing Blade just does not feel great here. I don't think we need more card draw like this. We just need lands, but also removal. And flyers. Yeah, this is like looking like a whole different deck. They swing for 3 and just pass. I mean, they have a spell setter for 4. Like, we're not in a good spot. I could play a Vault of Whispers, play a Tithing Blade, and if that gets through, I can Refurbish Familiar. But if it doesn't, I can't. I don't think it's gonna. I could just hold up a Fanatical Offering for the Lembas, and the next turn I could play Refurb for 1. They counter that, I can Omen it back, but I don't have triple black unless I draw another land. Which means I could just go for Familiar here for 2. And then if it gets countered, I can Omen it back. I think we're probably going for the Familiar. But the fact that this can get spell settled is really bad. They have a Brainstorm. Brainstorm not usually one you see in Mono Blue Fae either. That resolves, okay. That's not bad for us. Discard an island. I mean, it's not amazing. We still just trade. But then we can Omen it back. If that gets countered, maybe we get some other stuff through on our turn. Foreboding Landscape. Yeah, I think we're blocking. I guess they could have... Well, there's a Ninja. That's fine. Draw a card. They're leaving up Spell Stutter, so I can't really Omen here. Thraben Inspector is fine. Play that. If it gets Spell Stutter, that's fine. Say Tithing Blade. That gets countered, and then I can get the Omen of the Dead through. Nope, that one goes through. I'll just sack a Miscreant, I guess. I'll pass. I'm probably going to make this chump. Sack the Landscape. Now they have Snuff Out, I guess, if that's what they're going for. Yep. Okay. Draw Preordain. Both on top, and they're going to pass. Kiba Gang Shinobi. I mean, I could just hardcast that, but it's a 3-2, so it trades with this, and that's bad. I think we Fanatical Offering a Lembas. That gets countered. We can Omen of the Dead, but then I can't play the Refurbished Familiar. I could Omen, and then Fanatical Offering when that gets countered. Yeah, I think we're going to start with the Omen. Now that I'm playing this, I should have just done this on the end step, but I didn't know what I was going to draw, and if I would want to start with this. And I'm not fully confident that this is the right play anyway, but we're going to get the Familiar back. I guess they can just let us play it, and that uses up all our black mana. And they're going to annul. I guess I'll crack this clue. For Glint Hawk, I mean, that's not bad. We will play that. Picks one of these up and trades with the Ninja, maybe, if it doesn't get snuffed out. I guess we go for the Tithing Blade, because if this does die, we'll want to kill the Ninja. But they know about it, so they could easily just play another creature. We know they have a Fairy Miscreant in hand, so maybe that's not great. They have an Aquifer. I would love for this to not die, this Glint Hawk, so that we could Okiba Gang it. But I think we really need to stop them from drawing more cards. There's a Preordain. Asked us another Tithing Blade. Well, not really what I wanted to see. I guess we will sack this Lembas to an Offering. Have a Dispel for it. Well, I guess that's it then. I guess we chose poorly with the picking up the Tithing Blade since we drew another one. No way of knowing that, but unfortunate. I think we got to go for the Scry here. It's a lot of mana to waste, and we don't know if we'll find a Skyfisher anytime soon. And 2 lands on top makes me pretty happy about that. Get rid of those. There's an Inspector. So I play an Inspector. If they Spell Stutter it, I can double Tithing Blade. Or I could Tithing, and if they Spell Stutter that, I get a Thraben Inspector, but that doesn't seem that good. So I think I'll just do this. They already know I have a Tithing Blade, so I guess they're not really going to bite on this. But also if this survives, maybe we get to Okiba them, so that's not bad either. Yep, there's the Spell Stutter. Wish we had the Cast Down. But we'll just go for another and hope they don't have the counter on this one. Alright. Well, we might be in an okay spot here. Like, if they play, hopefully nothing relevant, a land, and then we're going to Okiba them for their last 2 cards, that's really good. Take 1, no Ninja, okay. Ancient Den, swing, Ninja them back. No Cast Down, alright. Island Arms of Hadar, that's totally fine. I'll just play this. Now we're in a great spot. They're top decking, as are we, but we have 2 clues, we have a Tithing Blade, and we just have a much faster clock. Plus, they can't keep anything in hand like counterspells because of this Okiba, unless they want to chump. They play a Fairy Seer. That's not terrible for them. Scry both to the bottom. They got to leave back to trade for this Okiba Gang, I guess. We're going to just crack a clue. There's a Skyfisher, so I can play that, Tithing Blade them so that they can't trade for the Okiba. They're gonna have to chump it or just take 3. They don't have any cards, so it's just 3 damage. All right, they gave us the GG. So got there against Fae, not bad. All right, on the play here, we have just a Forlorn Flats, a lot of 1-drops, which makes it enticing, but tap land into Inspector, into Glint Hawk, pick up a clue is not very good, so we gotta get rid of that. This is not great, very flooded, even after we get rid of one of these, but I think we're gonna keep it. It's just, it's not great. We do get a turn 2 familiar. We have a cast down, but I think in 7 I probably would have gotten rid of that, but on 6 I don't think we can. Skyfisher's a good draw. They play a mountain, so could be mono red, but nothing. I don't know what to say now. It could be mono red, well, potentially because it's a mountain. I was going to say it could be Kuldotha, but it can't be Kuldotha. Could be red deck wins, whatever you want to call it, goblins, whatever the new red deck is. Or it could be like something janky. Mono red Tron is my 1 in a million guess. They discard a Synthesizer, play a mountain, and Searing Blaze. Okay. I was going to say one that we haven't seen in a while, but we're going to get a lot of that with the Kuldotha ban. Okay, I don't really want to run out of Skyfisher because we don't really get any value off of it. Plus, if they just have like another Searing Blaze, it kind of just dies. So I think we're going to ping them with a Forlorn Flats and just pass. I'm guessing some sort of, burn, pinger burn maybe, Lava Dart, Lava Spike. So just traditional burn, looks like. Lembas is a great draw for many reasons. One, it gives us our core Skyfisher, plus its life gain. Suffocating Fumes, I don't think they're going to be running a lot of goblins based on what I've already seen. Goblins are just 1/1s, so I'm going to bottom that and draw another Lembas, which is phenomenal. We're going to get the Skyfisher down, though. They're going to want to use these 2 this turn, so the chances of them killing the Skyfisher are lower. I mean, if they just have a mountain and a lightning bolt, they can definitely do that and still use these up, but it's less likely to die to a Searing Blaze or something. So Lava Spike us, Lava Dart us, just pass. We get to play Lembas again. And we're looking for life gain and lands. So I'll take the Basilica, because I don't really want to miss my land drop, and this is 2 land drops. And I think we're just leaving up this Lembas to sack right away since we have another one. I don't want to wait too long to sack these, because if they have a big explosive turn, we might just die before we sacrifice them, and that seems like a big waste. So here's another Ren's Resolve, Lightning Bolt, and a Thermo Alchemist. Okay. And no land drop, so they need a land next turn, or they can't play both of these. And I can just kill the Alchemist, so I would love for them to play that. Crack our Lembas. Tithing Blade doesn't do much. Play our other Lembas. Omen of the Dead gets back a familiar that doubles our clock. But if I play it this turn, I can't hold up any of our black spells, which I want to either cast down or maybe have one of these sack effects up. So I think I'm going to bottom it mostly for that reason. Vault of Whispers. Well, I wasn't really asking for more lands, but that's okay. Okay, I guess we're just holding up Lembas again. I don't know if I want to crack it, seeing as it's the only one we have now. But if they try to kill Skyfisher, obviously I'll sack it. If they play it at Thermal Alchemist, I'll cast it down. They're going for another Ren's Resolve, really looking for that mountain. And they found a tap land, which is pretty bad here. They found another Alchemist too. But that means that they lose out on the first Alchemist and the Bolt. So I think we're going to start with we're going to sack a land here. We're going to go for the Ancient Den, and we drew a Skyfisher and another Tithing Blade, and we're going to Eviscerate his Insight the map token. All right, don't need this, thank you. So we get to swing for 2, play another Skyfisher, play our Lembas again, and Eviscerator's Insight. Do I need another one of those? Not really, but we do have a lot of mana here. We're going to play a Tithing Blade and probably flip it, I guess. No, I think we have enough card draw. We have enough card draw and things to play that I'd rather just look for more things like that. I don't think we're going to die this turn, so I'd rather just increase our clock. So let's just play 2 Inspectors. Next turn, I assume they'll play this Alchemist. I can Tithing Blade it away, and then I can flip our Tithing Blade, so we're actually gaining life. We're also hitting for 6, and then 6 again with the Tithing Blade ping is going to be lethal. So we're looking to be in a good spot here. They play a Synthesizer. get something off the top. It's another Thermo Alchemist. They are not loving these Thermo Alchemists, probably just because they know that we are likely to have removal, so they're trying to just get the burn, and they concede right there, which is fair. They did not do very well with those impulses. So we get compasses. I don't think we actually need the board clear, like the Suffocating Fumes, because we didn't really see any creatures except for the Thermo Alchemist. I think Duresses might be good here, though. Grim Bauble doesn't... Nothing we saw could die to it. Don't need a Thraben Charm. Akiba Gang might be fine, honestly. Like, it doesn't seem great. In that type of a game, it seemed pretty good. But if they unload their hand quicker and also just have, like, a Bolt Up, it's not going to be that good. We'll take out an Insight and a Cast Down. I think Tithing Blade probably does about the same as a Cast Down. I do want to have kill spells for their pingers, but I don't think I need 1.5 million. So let's try that. I think Duresses are going to be decent here, though. Oof. This is a tough one because we have no white and we don't really have this familiar that early. You can do it on turn 3, but I think the Lembas really seals it. We can play the Lembas. It's great for life gain, and ideally it'll find us a white source. So that's what we're hoping for. Tithing Blade's not a bad draw. If they go for a Thermo Alchemist here, we're just going to kill it. Vault of Whispers is also not bad. That lets us play our Familiar for 1. So next turn we can play Lembas and Familiar. I guess we could do that anyway with these two, but oh well. Another Thermo Alchemist. So Plains would be great. Forlorn Flats. Because if we could pick up the Glinthawk, if we could have picked up the Glinthawk and replayed the Tithing Blade, it would have been really nice. And this makes it so we can't play Refurbished Familiar and the Forlorn Flats and Lembas. So I think we're just Lembasing then. Although they're going to have Artifact Take probably. So do I want to leave this susceptible? I guess then I get to keep the Tithing Blade. Yeah, we'll give it a try. Another Glinthawk. I think we need white sources before. We already have 2 ways to pick things up, so as much as I don't like to say it, we got to get rid of that. Another Lembas is great. Ping him for 1, so we're going to take some damage off this Alchemist. Ideally 1, but probably more like 2 or 3. There's a Ren's Resolve and a damage first. Cast into the Fire, there it is, and a Lava Dart. Can't use the cast until next turn, though. And again, they're missing lands. So this version of red definitely wants more than 2 lands, like 3 lands at least. So we can just Skyfisher and Tithing Blade them. This lets them cast into the fire our Lembas, but they take their whole turn to do that, and we have another Lembas. I think that's fine. I think, obviously, we want this Thermo Alchemist dead. Oh, or I could just Glinthawk it, and I can also play a Refurbished Familiar. That seems a little bit better. Let's get both of those down then. Ping us for 1. We'll eat their guy, make him discard a card. So now we have a pretty good clock 2. They're going to have to start picking these off. If they get a land, they can Lava Dart the Familiar. They discard a Lava Dart. I mean, they could already Lava Dart the Familiar, but I assume they want to use this Cast Down. Cast into the Fire, that is. They do find the 3rd land. So they ping off both of these, fair enough, and then they can Lava Dart the Glinthawk. I can live with that, though. Not the end of the world. So they do have 2 Lava Darts in the grave, and we get another Familiar. So I can play the Familiar, play a Skyfisher, they ping off the Familiar with a Lava Dart. That's fine. I'll just pick up a Lembas. Or do I want to wait until maybe they've used their Lava Darts? I could just play a Skyfisher and pick up a Lembas and replay it. I could just start with a Lembas, actually. Actually, yeah, let's just start with a Lembas, because this leaves us up the ability to use these Lembases. If they go for another Cast of the Fire, we can just gain a life. I think I will take an Ancient Den. So now I can play a Familiar or an Inspector. But the Familiar dies to the Lava Dart. But if they want to sack their lands, I think I'm okay with that. So let's just go for it. Maybe it would have been better to just save this until I had like a Fanatical Offering effect. So if they go for it, they lose their land and we get to draw 2. I think we're just going to do this. Leave up a Lembas and crack 1. They discarded a Bolt. They have another Thermo Alchemist. And another land. Now they're almost flooded. Clockwork Percussionist. Okay, that's a good one. We're just going to take 1 here and crack a Lembas. Gain 3. Swing for 2. See if they want to dart this away. The Percussionist does make the Skyfisher worse, because I can't really Skyfisher a Tithing Blade now with the Thermo Alchemist. See if they want to kill the Familiar here. If so, I'll probably just play the Lembas and try to find a Cast Down. And they do go for it. So yeah, let's get the Lembas and play that. I don't hate a Plains just because we don't really want to miss our land drop. Yeah, I guess I'll just keep that. It gets me another Skyfisher down, which protects our Lembas. It also just makes our clock pretty fast. So I think I'm okay with it. If they swing at the Percussionist, I probably will just block, because it makes another Tithing Blade or a Glint Hawk into a Tithing Blade better for the Thermal Alchemist. Yeah, it gives them a card. I think that's okay. They get another Percussionist. Fair enough. They have a Flame Breather and that Percussionist. Alright, so we'd love to find a cast down. Duress. It's not bad, but let's just kick things off with the Lembas. Looking for cast down. Don't need another Duress. Omen of the Dead is not bad. That gets Glint Hawk, which gets Tithing Blade. I think we'll Duress them. Chances of hitting are high-ish, I think. Reckless Impulse is a great hit. So let's Omen of the Dead, pick up the Glint Hawk, play that. Problem is, maybe I should have just saved this, because if I pick up the Tithing Blade, they won't attack with the Clockwork. I think that's fine. I think we'll just go with the Lembas anyway. Play an Inspector. All they have right now is one Clockwork and a Lava Dart in the grave. We have a pretty fast clock. Of course, they do get to deal 1 damage here, 1 damage more every turn, an extra 2 with every spell. So like they could do some good stuff here, especially if they get like another impulse effect. But they didn't find anything and they conceded. We're playing against GN42. Spoilers, I just played against them with the Black Sack deck from a previous video. So they're probably on Flickertron if they are on the same thing, which means this isn't a very good aggressive start. And Thraben Charm doesn't do, it does some, but it doesn't do a ton. It's not a, I don't think that I can throw away a hand like this though. I think we're going to keep it, but I would much prefer a hand with a Refurbished Familiar. Okuba Gang Shinobi would be great. Oh, maybe they've also changed decks. In that case, looks like maybe Grixis Affinity or Jund Wildfire or a bunch of other things. I played an Inspector. So next turn I can go Inspector and Familiar. They have a Blood Fountain and a Swamp into a Familiar. Okay, so it looks like, I guess it could still be either. Am I getting rid of, I think I'm just getting rid of this Swamp. Skyfisher's not bad. Attack for 1. I will play a Novice Inspector into a Familiar of my own. I discard a Cast Down. It is Jund. Okay, there's a Lembas. They just pass. We have a Tithing Blade. I think we just Tithing Blade and we get in for 4. Attacking them pretty fast. If they get like a Chrysalis or something, we can Thraben Charm it. This also lets us Skyfisher pick up the Tithing. Seems reasonable. So smack them for 4 and pass. They do have the Chrysalis. So I could kill it, but then they just have Blood Fountain. And also I'm using the Thraben Charm, which is kind of our way to get rid of their graveyard. So I think we just actually have to let them have it for now. And Lembas, dig for a land, because we definitely need some lands here. But Jukabog's a great land. I'll take that. Not as much value as we could get, but I like just taking the Familiar away. It makes it less bad for us to Thraben Charm this later. And tap land isn't bad here either. Also, we can pick it back up with the Skyfisher if we really want at some point to try to invalidate this Blood Fountain. They are going to Toxin Analysis their Chrysalis and then just crack the Clue token. Okay, dig in. Viscerator's Insight, not bad. I mean, I think we're in a much better spot than they are, but we just are really pinched on mana, so we need to focus on getting mana quicker. I think to that end, we just Eviscerator's Insight, a Clue token, and try to draw for a land. We didn't get it. We did get a Suffocating Fumes, which isn't terrible to kill off the spawn if we can then buy back the Tithing Blade. But for now, I guess we're just playing another Inspector. We play 20 lands for a reason. They have a Reckoner's Bargain on their Lembas. New Include, now that Dispute is banned. There's a Cleansing Wildfire. If I just get a Tithing Blade, I can also Grim Bauble the Eldrazi spawn and then sack the Chrysalis, make them sack the Chrysalis. They doing a bunch of stuff though, drawing Wellspring, double Wellspring. Okay, well now, if I just get a land, I can, there we go. I can make them sack the Chrysalis to the Tithing Blade. I can't leave up Thraben Charm this turn, but if they want a Blood Fountain for just their Chrysalis, I think that's okay. So let's play this guy, kill their 4/5, and attack in for 5 damage. Pass to them. They have a Wellspring and another Chrysalis. Okay. Forlorn Flats. Okay. I can swing with the team, just get in for a little bit of damage. 3, maybe up to 5. We also have a Flats for an extra damage. I could Suffocating Fumes to wipe these, and then swing. Then they block, and I bauble. That's not terrible. We get in for 5 damage, trade this for a couple cards here, put them down to 6 with the Forlorn Flats. If they have another land, though, they can just Blood Fountain, immediately get back the Chrysalises. I think I really need to hold up the Thraben Charm for when I kill these. So I don't think we're doing that yet. I think we're going to crack a Clue token, just hope we draw a Cast Down. Although I guess we're not using it because of the Thraben Charm, right? Lembas is fine. All right, let's cast a Lembas. Another Skyfisher isn't bad. Picks up our Tithing Blade, which I think is going to be decent. We just want some single target removal, I think. I don't think we need the Skyfisher right now, as good as it usually is, and is still here, but we need to hit more land drops. We need to find some other stuff. Because if we can just cast this down next turn, like if we can draw into a cast down, and then when they go for the Blood Fountain, we exile their graveyard, then we're in a pretty good spot. Also, we need to remember Thraben Charm is important against a Nyxborn Hydra, because they could go for a Nyxborn Hydra here. I think that's very unlikely, but like they could try to race us if they think they wouldn't die in one crackback, but I don't really expect that here, just in general. Good to know. And yet, that is exactly what's happening. There's a Nyxborn Hydra on the spawn. They are going on the offensive. It's a 5/6, so if I block, I'd have to block with most everything, and it's 5 damage. I could kill this and this, and then it's just a spawn. So now we'll just take 5. We have a Thraben Charm for it if we really need. Cast Down would still be great. Omen of the Dead doesn't do anything at the moment, but we can attack with the team. Whatever they block, I can Omen back. That seems okay. We get in for a bunch, at least 4. I guess they could have sacked the spawn to make the Hydra a blocker, but we'd probably just Thraben Charm it then. They block like this. Block like this, rather. They block like this. That's fine. It's Suffocating Fumes. Just to keep this alive, they have to sack their spawn. That doesn't seem great. It's fine. We'll just go to damage. They discard a Snuff Out with their blood token. So now I have 5 mana. I can Grim Bauble this to shrink it, and they have to sack this to keep it alive. And then I can Omen of the Dead this back. Then I can Grim Bauble again if I really want. But then they have double Blood Fountain, so that's not going to work. But we are going to go for the Grim Bauble. If they're willing to lose the Chrysalis, then we just hold up the Thraben Charm for the graveyard. I think, yeah, they kind of need to sack this, though. So I could Suffocating Fumes, but then they can Blood Fountain these both back, and that's bad. So they have a 4/5 and a 5/6. So since I didn't kill it, I can probably just Omen Core Skyfisher and pick up a Tithing Blade. What are the chances we die if we tap out right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15. Low, because they'd have to find a removal spell for this and have that. I think we're going to Omen, pick up the Skyfisher, play Skyfisher. I don't even think we care about the Omen, though. I think we just pick up a Tithing Blade and then play an Inspector. Maybe I should have just picked up the Refurbished Familiar, take one of their 2 cards. I don't know. This seems decent, though. They need kind of another Chrysalis to get around this Tithing Blade pretty well. Krark Clan Shaman would do it, too. Plus, they have all these Ichor Wellsprings, so they wipe all our Inspectors. That's a little annoying for sure. Okay, fair enough. Might just cash in the 3rd one, even? No, they're just going to leave it. Well, we have another Shaman, yep, for the Tithing Blade. Well, I can Suffocating Fumes first and then Tithing. But then we still don't get to hold up the Thraben Charm. I don't think they're swinging with both of their creatures here. Probably just the Nyxborn Hydra for 5. Unless they really don't think we can deal 3 damage, which is, you know, probably can't. Maybe they do go for both, but yeah, just the Hydra comes in. Not enough damage on it for me to block here. It's also possible with the Skyfisher, I should have just picked up like a Bajuka Bog to blow up the graveyard, but we have a cast down, so I can cast down the Chrysalis, attack for 4, then they go for a Blood Fountain on the end step. I Thraben Charm it away, but if they have another Nyxborn, we die. Or if they have a Galv Blast, I don't know if they're going to be playing that, we die because they have damage here. If I don't cast down now, we're not in a great spot either. I could wait instead, and I could go for a Suffocating Fumes to take out the Shaman. The next turn I can Tithing and cast down, and if they go for a Blood Fountain here, I still Thraben Charm it away. I think that's slightly better. So the other thing is if we kill this, attack for 4, wipe their graveyard, They attack for 6. Even if they don't kill us, they have a Nyxborn Hydra that we can't get around because we've used... Oh, but then next turn... Actually, no. Next turn we can go for a Suffocating Fumes into a Tithing Blade, and that would be 4. Yeah, I think it's a tough call, but I think we're going to go for the cast down here. Attack for 4, and Thraben Charm the Graveyard. We do die to a Nyxborn Hydra or a Galv Blast this way, and I am okay with that. I don't really expect the Galv Blast, and a Nyxborn Hydra, I feel like they're probably only playing 2, so if they have the other one, they got me. We are going to exile their graveyard, though. They cycle a landscape. They have a Refurbished Familiar. That's pretty bad. We got to get rid of the Tithing Blade. The Fumes will kill these two, and if they are ambitious enough to attack with this, then the Fumes will kill both, and we'll get in for lethal, whereas the Tithing Blade doesn't do anything by itself. So if we're lucky, they have nothing else. They attack for 5, and then we can Fumes away these two. If they have another Familiar, we are kind of screwed, I think. They're going to attack with the Krark clan. That's probably smart. Sack the Wellspring, trying to dig a card deeper. Losing the Shaman as well. They got a Cleansing Wildfire. And a Blood Fountain. That's fine. And a Bridge. 1 card in hand. Okay. A removal spell would do it. That's not a removal spell. We can crack a Clue. So if we just cast Suffocating Fumes, this dies. We can attack for 2, but not enough. So, but if we just get another removal spell, we'll kill them. So I think we gotta dig for it with a Clue. I guess we needed like a Bauble for 1 mana though, because we only have 1 mana left. So I have a Fanatical Offering. I guess I can use that on the... I don't want to use the Bauble because I might want to pick that up. I think we will... Because if I get a cast down for this, and then I can just attack, they trade, they pick some stuff up, they replay the Hydra. That's kind of bad. Ugh, Fanatical Offering, I don't think is going to draw much relevant stuff for right now, because I don't think we'd go for the cast down. So I think we're actually just going to pass here. Unfortunate, but I think we got to play it a little patient here. Go for something on their end step. They found the other Nyxborn Hydra for 7. That makes this a 12 power creature, which means I can block, well, 12. I could just sack 2 Lembuses and survive it, actually. So that's fine, I think. They attack with this. I crack both Lembus, I survive, and I Suffocating Fumes the Familiar away. I think they just realized that it wouldn't actually do anything. So they're going to pass. So we're going to... Now we can't really sack the Lembus for any other reason, though. So I think we're just going to crack this Clue. Cast down. Doesn't work here, though, because if we cast this down, they just have a replacement. Don't really want to sack lands. But cast down makes it so we don't just die to this, so I think we will sack a Lembus now with the Fanatical. Ancient Den and an Inspector. Eviscerators. Okay, so we don't just have 1 more damage on them. So let's play Inspector and pass with everything up. I guess we can crack this Clue. See what we get. Vault of Whispers. All right, we will pass. I guess that means we tapped out of both of these. Or we have both. We have 1 of each. I don't know what I'm saying. We have 1 of these, but we don't have both of them. They have a Spell Bomb. That's a little annoying, but not the end of the world. They get our Eviscerator's Insight in the grave. And a Tithing Blade. Doesn't have anything targets now for the flip, but it's not the end of the world. They have another Wildfire. Swing with the guy. So I can go for a Lembus. That doesn't save us alone. So Lembus block with a Thraben Inspector. They gotta have another creature, I think. But yeah, we're gonna block here. Crack this Lembus. This means if they don't have another creature or removal spell, then we can Suffocating Fumes the Refurbished Familiar. If they have another creature, we can also just cast it down and then survive. We're taking 10 here. Hopefully they don't have any burn. I'm counting on that as well. They have a Chrysalis. That might be fine, because we can cast it down and Suffocating Fumes. They're also going to crack a Blood Token right away. And a Refurbished Familiar, which is also fine, because we can just kill that with the Fumes. So we'll cast down this Chrysalis. Refurb, lose the Vault. Untap, and we'll Suffocating Fumes. Ooh, and a Tithing Blade's not bad, but we'll just make them lose their board and attack for 4. Ooh, close one. We were able to get there. Also a long game for sure. So Thraben Charm is good because their graveyard is important, as is the Nyxborn Hydra. Duress is pretty good. Dust to Dust is pretty good. Suffocating was good there, but I don't think we really need it in general. Same with the Grim Bauble. I also don't think we need that many Lembuses or Tithing Blades. I don't want to cut too much of removal, but a single target's definitely better. And the Thraben Charm is also removal, so that's fine. Okiba Shinobi feels like it gets in once maybe, and then it never gets in again, which isn't terrible because it gets us an ETB and a Mind Rot. I don't know if we want, I don't think we want 4 Dust to Dusts, but I'm happy with a couple. If we can take off a couple bridges early, that's nice. Or a Blood Fountain and a Refurbished Familiar later, that's not bad either. Duress is definitely good. Thraben, just Inspectors don't do quite as much. There's not a ton to chump on the ground. Omen of the Dead, very good, very important here. Maybe we'll cut another Tithing Blade because of the Thrabens. I don't want to lose that many artifacts though. Maybe we'll keep the Lembus, but cut a second Tithing and cut. Everything else is so good. Cut another Inspector. Inspectors don't do a lot here, so I think that's honestly fine. They don't really have great attacks usually, and they don't chump super well, only against Chrysalis. This hand is it's not even amazing if we get the Lembus, if we find our black source. It's not bad, though. If we find black, we get a Refurbished Familiar down, we start grinding, draw some cards. We have an Omen of the Dead, which I really like in this match. I guess we'll keep it. They're on 6 cards. We got a Thraben Charm, that's not bad. Gotta find our black source here. Have the Cleansing Wildfire. Pretty good for them. Alright, Cast Down's not bad. Let's find black source. Don't fail me. Well, that's 2 more white sources that we saw. And they just got the turn 3 Chrysalis. Another Lembus. Well, let's dig for the black source, I guess. Swamp would allow us to play this Familiar. Okay. We've seen enough cards that we probably should have seen a black land at this point. Now we're just getting unlucky, which is a bummer. They play a Wellspring. They have another Chrysalis. Well, we are just going to die. That was unfortunate. Not a good game. They had a primo start, and we had a pretty bad, I would say a medium keep that I knew I had to get lucky, but got very unlucky. We're on the play here, so it gets a little better. And yeah, hope we get a better hand. Not keeping one of those again. Would love these sideboard cards, but not keeping a 1-lander. Yeah, this one's fine. We're going to get rid of one of the Skyfishers, I think. Yep, keep our lands, keep the ability to go turn 2 Lembus, turn 3 Glinthawk, and Lembus. Forlorn Flats isn't terrible. Refurb's pretty good. So we can actually just play Refurb, Glinthawk, Refurb next turn if we want. They have the Wildfire. Dust to Dust. So I want to get down the Forlorn Flats in case they play another land here, another artifact land, which means I guess I'm just going Refurb, Glinthawk, the Lembus for the aggro play. No, I think we need the value, but I need to get this down. So do we just go for a Skyfisher, pick up a Lembus? That doesn't seem great. Oh, we don't even have a 1-drop Refurb yet. It's 2 mana, so I guess that makes our decision for us. We'll just play the Skyfisher and pick up the Lembus. We have a Twisted Landscape, so no Chrysalis here. Spell Bomb, and just pass. Okay. Well, I'll just go straight to attacks. I'm not going to hit their bridge and their Spell Bomb because they can just get value off the Spell Bomb, I think. But I will play a Lembus. Omen of the Dead looks great. We're going to wait, obviously, for them to use their Spell Bomb, but now we can Refurb and then Glinthawk it back. There's a Clark Clan Shaman. They also didn't have... They could have a Writhing Chrysalis this next turn, though, so maybe I should have taken them off it for that reason, but I think we just buy the Refurb. It's not as aggressive, but it's more cheaper card advantage, I think. So I think that might just be the way we want to attack this. They Eviscerators inside the Spell Bomb, so they missed their card draw there, which is nice, and also means our Omen of the Dead's back online. They do have a Chrysalis, no land drop, so we get to, I guess, just double Refurb them, try to make it hurt while we can't get in for damage. They discard a Nyxborn Hydra, and then next turn, ideally, we find like a Cast Down and Eviscerator's Insight, with the Eviscerator's Insight so that we can kill this and then get in for 8. Speaking of, they discard an Insight, sack their spawn for another Chrysalis. What a good card this is. They also have another Spell Bomb, Glinthawk. So I could Glinthawk Refurb. I kind of want to dig for something, but I could just Eviscerator's Insight away the Lembus. Maybe that even make some Nile Spellbomb it. I think we'll just do that. Nope, they're fine with it. Forlorn Flats, and we get a refurb anyway. But I think we're just replaying the one we have already. Oh, except I've miscalculated, and I don't have the artifacts. If I pick this up, I won't have the artifacts to replay the other one. That's pretty annoying. Yeah, because now I only have 2. So I should have just played the one from hand. I obviously wanted to save the information of them knowing I had a second one, but that was a mistake, because then I can't play the other one. Oops. Kind of a lot going on here. A lot to balance. They have a Wildfire. I should have just taken out this bridge a while ago, I think, with the Spell Bomb. Yeah, probably a mistake. We have a Basilica. Well, I will make them discard 2 of their cards. They might go for a Dispute effect. Not Dispute itself, but on the Spell Bomb here. They're just going to crack it for a card draw, sure. I could have just saved my Eviscerator's Insight, but I didn't really have anything I wanted to sack. They discard a Slagwood's Bridge. Here they have an Insight on a spawn. Discard a Vault. We will pick up a Forlorn Flats, I suppose. And I think we just pass. We can't throw away 2 of these at a time. If we get 1 cast down and can throw away 1/2 drop, 1/2 power creature to hit them for 10, I'm okay with that. But hitting them for 4 for just by losing 2 is not really worth it. They do play a Blood Fountain. They have a Nyxborn Hydra and a Krark to get back, so even if I go for the Dust to Dust, they get value. Pretty annoying. A Tithing Blade with the spawn. Oh, God. Nothing's working out great. I will tell you that much. I definitely should have killed this land earlier when they stopped getting more lands. I guess I will do it now with this Blood Fountain, but yeah, I definitely made a mistake not killing it earlier. They're going to Eviscerator's Insight the bridge. Interesting. They didn't actually care about the Blood Fountain. They wanted 2 fresh cards instead of 2 known cards. Interesting. So I can attack for 8 here. They go to 6. It's not terrible. It's not very good, but I can also rebuy something with the Omen of the Dead. Yeah, I think we're going for it. Cracking in. They're pulling ahead in advantage here, so I need to shorten the game. And they block the Skyfishers, so I can Omen of the Dead one of them back and then pick up the Omen again. So that's pretty good for me. And I'll pass. If they've drawn poorly here, we have a good shot. But if they have some removal spells or another Chrysalis, we're in a bad spot. They have a Breath Weapon. That's pretty bad. You just have a Skyfisher left. Potentially not for long. Looks like they're going to attack and have a Toxin Analysis to gain 6. Yeah. So we're at 10. Blood Fountain again. We have a Tithing Blade, and a Thraben Charm's a great draw for this Blood Fountain. So I can Tithing, Omen, or Skyfisher. Well, I'm going to Tithing first. It's going to grow one of them, actually. Well, the bigger one. Omen of the Dead. Pick up a Skyfisher. I get a Glinthawk. I can replay the Tithing Blade, but I can't hold up the Thraben Charm, and that's too important, so we're just going to play the Skyfisher. Pick up the Omen. Attack for 2. Yeah, that Breath Weapon was backbreaking. And we'll pass. Actually, maybe I should just Thraben now, because they're not going to crack it on their main phase. Yeah, if they go for a Nyxborn here, I guess I probably just die, but I can't do this on their end step, because then they're going to use the Blood Fountain, and so I just need to get rid of it now, I think. They blood away a Krark Clan Shaman, play a bridge. They do get in for 7 here if they want to. They have another Cleansing Wildfire. We're just going to chump because we have the Omen of the Dead, so they'll probably just leave it back knowing that, or they might want to, tax our mana. They have another Toxin for more life gain, so glad I didn't try to race. Bajuka Bog is not bad, so we're going to Omen back the Skyfisher, Skyfisher the Omen. I think we then just Omen. I know this breaks the loop, which I don't like, but I get the Glinthawk. I need to kill this Chrysalis, pick up the Tithing, so it dies. And then I have a Bajuka Bog, so it doesn't come back. And then we attack for 2. So they got to have some good draws in hand. They do have 3 cards plus a Clue token, so it's not an amazing spot for us. They do crack the Clue, which is a good sign. They also crack a Blood, which is a good sign. They have a Refurbished Familiar. We don't have anything to discard. They have a Lembas and a Shaman. Doesn't really matter too much. Kabira Crossroads. Maybe should have sacked this Omen in the upkeep. I think we're just attacking, though. They can trade with the Glinthawk, take 4. We're going to flip this Tithing Blade. and play out this Crossroads for more mana. Maybe should have just kept it for if they buy back the Familiar, but I think the life and the mana is decent. They get another Chrysalis, despite all my efforts to get rid of all their Chrysalises. I guess only 2, but man, it feels like more. Sack their spawn, play a Wellspring, bargain away the Wellspring. I think we sack the Omen on the end step. We kind of got to find something. Removal doesn't really do what we need it to, though, because the Blood Fountain's here. Attack for 1, but I think we got to look for something. Cast down. It's not nothing, but it's not great. We don't want to Plains. Cast down and attack for 4. We're not going to race them very effectively. I guess we keep it, though. I guess the Consuming Sepulcher helps. They have enough to replay it right away, but we'll cast it down. Kraken for 4. Put them to 8, but they can buy back the Chrysalis. They can have a Lembas up. So, yeah, not a great spot to be in. They've seen 24 more cards from their deck than we have. That's insane. They also just found their other Chrysalis. Who needs to even buy them back with the Blood Fountain? Although they will do that as well. Play a Refurb. We discard a card, but they draw. We drain them for 1. We get a Plains. Well, I think this is going to be the end, unfortunately. Like I said, I should have dusted earlier. I should have realized I was trying to get a little bit more value out of them, but I should have realized that the 1 red mana that they had was pretty integral to what they were doing. The fact that it was their only bridge, their only red mana, and also just their 4th land, all of which are very relevant. I should have seen a little earlier. There's the Chrysalis. They have a makeshift munitions. Yeah, that's definitely going to finish it off, I think. A block here? No, because we take 7. They have 5 mana. They can't kill us. If we have a shot at winning, it's not blocking, I think. I don't think we have a shot at winning, but that's okay. Glint Hawk to flip a Tithing. It's not going to matter. All right. Unfortunate. It was pretty close, but we played poorly and got punished for it. All right, here we are, round 4. This hand looks reasonable, a little flooded, but, you know, some good cards from the deck. Obviously, this is a lot of removal, so we'd hope to be against a removal opponent, but All Eyes on Me usually plays Tron, I would assume. So that makes this quite a bit worse. For that reason, I maybe should have just played an Ancient Den and picked it up with the Glint Hawk to go on the aggro. I guess I'm just playing this Tithing Blade so that I can pick it up with the Glint Hawk. Cycle a Lorien for an island and play a Molten Tributary. Lembas is a good draw. I obviously wish that I had had that last turn, so we didn't waste the Tithing Blade. Fanatical Offering is good. I'm going to play the GlintBlade, Glint Hawk. You know what I'm saying. Pick up the Lembas and pass. There's the Power Plant. Suffocating Fumes. Play a Lembas. This could get countered, which wouldn't be great. Okiba Gang Shinobi is pretty good. We're going to keep that one, I think. Attack for 2. We're going to pass, hold up Fanatical Offering for the Tithing Blade. The next turn, we're going to hopefully Okiba Gang them. It's an Urza's Tower. I guess if we do this and they just have like an Unwind, we don't even really tap them out of anything, but we're going to go for it. They have a Lose Focus, fair enough. They could have a Moment's Peace, which would be pretty annoying with this Okiba, but we don't have basically anything else to do, so we are going for it. And we're going to try to Mind Rot them. Yep, there's the Moment's Peace. Pretty annoying, but we still get a Glint Hawk trigger again, so we get the Lembas back in hand. They have an Urza's Tower. We know they have an island in hand, so a lot of lands for them. And no Tron yet, which is nice. They're going to play a wall, pick back up the Moment's Peace. All right. I mean, we're going to kill the wall so that we can get in with the Okiba Gang. Let's Lembas first. Glint Hawk seems good. I think we'll keep that. Kill the wall. Attack for 5. Make him discard 2. They discard an island and a Lorien. Am I worried that they have Breath Weapon in their main deck? I think we're going to not play around it. Just pick up the Lembas. Pass. I would love to find a Thraben Charm or something. They have a Muldrifter here. Okay. So not leaving up the Moment's Peace again. Conduit Pylons. We'll kill the Muldrifter. Get in for 7. Mind Rot them. There's the Bajuka Bog. I don't want to use it until they use the Moment's Peace once, though. So let's play a Lembas. Skyfisher is good. Do we really need more creatures? No. Do we need more triggers of Lembas? Yeah, that's not bad. Plus it could be another Bojuka Bog if we really want. Cast this down, hit for 7. Discard an island and a Lorien again. And I guess I'll just run out an Inspector. I guess I have the Skyfisher, so I probably just want to play the Bojuka Bog in case they have like a Pulsa Marasa for this wall. Yeah, I should probably just wait on it because they're likely to play the Moment's Peace this turn, but I don't know. Oh, they just have a Stonehorn Dignitary. Fair enough. That's annoying. No combat for us. In that case, I guess we're cracking this clue. Ancient Den, Skyfisher, the Lembas. Play that. More Ancient Dens. Flint Hawk. Well, we're going to pick up the Bojuka Bog and pass. Really wanted to find a way to kill the Dignitary. They're going to Impulse. They have an Ephemerate. Okay. Flint Hawk. Pick up Lembas. Play the Lembas. Stop finding lands. There's an Insight. This Inspector's not doing us any good, so let's just sack it. Forlorn Flats and another Inspector. I guess we're pinging them for 1. And I think we're Skyfishing back the Flats because it's an extra damage that gets through there, making us lose our combats. Maybe that's crazy, but it's looking like a win con. Also, finding a Tithing Blade so we can flip it would be really good. They crop rotation, so finally have Tron online. We know they have a Moment's Peace in hand, so 1 other card. That's the good news, is they're really low on resources. But we're losing this combat, so I think we're just Insight to draw 2 on one of these guys. Doesn't really matter, because if they ever attack, it's going to be lethal. There's a Tithing Blade. So do I just play that? It's kind of risky, because if I play it and they have a... I guess Flicker doesn't get around this, but if they have a counterspell, kind of bad. So I could just wait on it for a turn until I have the Thraben Charm up. I think that's a little safer. Yeah, we'll wait 1 turn. Although I should probably just leave the Thraben Charm up if they go for like another Ephemerate. So let's do that. We have a clue if we want to crack it instead. They have a Mystical Teachings, which is going to find something bad. I think we let it go. Finds another Mystical Teachings. Yep, that makes sense. And what does that one find? I could just exile both of them. Depending on what they get, I might do just that. Ghostly Flicker. Yeah, I think Ghostly Flicker's fine, because we're going to Tithing Blade this. So I think we do exile their graveyard. I don't think 2 Mystical Teachings is going to be easy to get out of. They have a Mole Drifter. That's a pretty good draw for them. Blind off the top. Means the Tithing Blade doesn't kill the Dignitary. But we can just flip the Tithing Blade, which is good. They have a Prism. Do a Weather the Storm. Oh my god. And a Bojuka Bog is annoying. That means we can't flip our Tithing Blade right now. Another Tithing Blade is a great draw, though. So let's just kill both their creatures. That's something. Crack a clue. Refurb. Play that. They discard a map. We know they have a Moment's Peace. I'm going to choose not to play this Bojuka Bog, because we know they have the Moment's Peace, so even though they might have a Pulsa Marasa or something, I'm going to just hope that they don't get it. They have an Impulse, another Impulse. Let's crack a clue. Bauble doesn't do anything. Can't even kill our own creature, which I would love to do because it would let us Tithing Blade. We will force the Moment's Peace, I think. Yup, we're going to Bojuka Bog that. I think we just cycle this. We don't have much else going on. Another land isn't good either. I guess I can exile these from the board. I don't know why I was forgetting that, but we will certainly do that. Get rid of an Inspector and also exile their graveyard. They have a Wall, which doesn't do anything. That's nice. And a Tangled Islet. Was a good turn for the Bojuka Bog. Eviscerator's Insight. I assume they don't have a Moment's Peace since they played the Wall to block the Okiba Gang. They take a bunch of damage. Nice. Let's just Eviscerator's Insight. Thraben Inspector, I guess. I guess they could have another Weather the Storm. Refurb is nice. That lets us take their last card. It's a Weather the Storm, so be it. Maybe just a counterspell. A Lose Focus. Counter unless we pay a bunch. Yeah. That's counter unless we pay 6. That means I wouldn't be able to flip a Tithing Blade, but I don't think that's a big deal. So sure, we will pay. Draw a card. Get another Refurbished Familiar. I don't know if there's a reason to play it or not to play it. Probably should have just waited because we could get rid of their last card if we could have forced them to discard if they kept something in hand. But Energy Refractor is going to be a redraw. All right, we're able to get there. This is where we want Duresses and Thraben Charms, and we want less removal. Tithing Blades are actually pretty good, though. They do have a good amount of creatures, but also just the win con version of it. But also, it is just a win con's pretty good. I think we can get rid of our cast downs since I'm switching those up for Thraben Charms. I don't hate some Dust to Dusts, but yeah, I don't think they're good enough. They have Prophetic Prism, Energy Refractor, but that's kind of it that we've seen. I don't think it's a big deal. Omen of the Dead, they're not really killing our creatures enough for that to be super relevant, so I think we'll get rid of that. All right, try like that. This one lander is, it's kind of tough. We have a lot of good stuff, but I don't think we can keep it. This one's quite a bit better. So I kind of want to get rid of the Tithing Blade, and I think we will. It is good against some other creatures, and it's a good win con, but it's more late game. They play a map. Don't want to duress them here. It doesn't really stop them from getting to Tron. So I think we'll just play the Novice Inspector to attack more quickly. They are going to have Tron. So now I probably want to go for a duress. Well, didn't know I was drawing that, but I would love to have duressed them before and then duress them again. Now, duress is mana inefficient, but I kind of want to get something out of their hand before they... Like, taking an Energy Refractor or something, like, if they have no other way to make colored mana, is pretty good. I think we're going to do it. It's a little awkward and probably sequence this wrong, but Energy Refractor, Impulse, Fangren Marauder, Murmuring Mystic. Yeah, I think we're going for the Energy Refractor. They can have all the colorless mana they want, but if they can't find colored mana, maybe we'll be okay. They could tutor up like an island or something here, but then they don't get their Tron. They might have to, though. Yeah, they get a Conduit Pylons, so that they at least have some colored mana. I think that's understandable. Ancient Den is not bad. That lets us play Refurb and Skyfisher. Or I could just Lembas Duress. I could take the Impulse, so that's harder for them to find Tron. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Keeping them off Tron's pretty important. Yeah, I think we Duress them again. Take the Impulse. They drew a Muldrifter, so we will play the Lembas. We don't need an Inspector. Flats is fine. We'll attack. They got a tower. We took the Impulse. They found the Muldrifter, though, so they can Divination there. Not the worst thing for us. Glinthawk is fine. We do need to find some removal for these scary creatures. No matter what, I'm going to be playing this Refurb. Do I want to pick it up or the Lembas with our Skyfisher? They get rid of the Fangren Marauder. Probably just want to attack their hand, I think. Next turn I can make them discard 2 more cards. Cycle a Lorien so they can find an island and play the Mystic, but just the Mystic. No, instead they Pulse of Marasa the Muldrifter. Okay, fair enough. We will attack, play a Refurb, make them discard a card. It's a Lorien. We're going to Glinthawk the Refurb, discard another. It's the Mystic, so they have a Muldrifter and 1 unknown. They're going to cast the Muldrifter here. They get Tron online. I find an Inspector. Let's crack a clue. Basilica's fine. Guess we'll crack another clue. Let's attack first. Do I care about these Inspectors? No. No, I don't. Let's just attack for 7 then. 6 if they want to trade with this Refurb, which they do. And yeah, I guess I draw a card here. Okiba's not bad. Pick up this Forlorn Flats for the extra damage, I guess. If we can get Okiba down again, well, if we can get it down in this game, I think that's going to be very good for us. But they have either a Muldrifter or a Wall here, it looks like. Both of which are not great. There's the Wall. Get back Pulse, yep. They can keep looping those. Need to find a Thraben Charm. Now they get back a Muldrifter. I guess they're not looping them, but that's still pretty good. Vault of Whispers. So I guess we're picking up a Glinthawk here to hit him with the Okiba. 6 damage. They gotta discard 2 cards. I tapped wrong. I'm really bad at this game. I was obviously supposed to leave a white, replay the Glinthawk, and that could be costly. They do discard the Muldrifter again and an Unwind, but they have another Muldrifter. Expedition map. Crack that probably for a tower. Maybe more colored mana. You get a Thriving Isle for green. And they have another Pulse of Marasa for a Moldrifter. Okay. Because I didn't return the Skyfisher, I can't buy back this Okiba Gang, which is a little annoying. But I guess we're just going for a Glinthawk on the Lembas, seeing if we can find either removal or maybe that Skyfisher. Although this turn it would be too late. A refurb, it's not bad. I know they have another Moldrifter in hand, so they're just going to keep getting value. So I don't think it's good enough. We attack the Skyfisher for 2 here. I guess we can play it, and we can play this Inspector and crack the Clue. It gets a card. Yeah, I guess it's okay. It's kind of tough. Tough call. I guess we'll swing with the team. I don't care if they eat an Inspector. They could trade here, which I don't really want them to, but they could also just block. Yeah, they're willing to take that trade. If I get an Omen, it gets a little better, so I can pick it back up. They discard a Remote Isle, and we will pass. They have an Impulse, and pass. We're going to crack a Clue. Another familiar. Fanatical Offering. Well, I'm going to swing. If they have like a Breath Weapon here. Mystical Teachings for a Breath Weapon. Yeah, that's my guess. Indeed. I'm going to Fanatical, one of the guys dying. Didn't draw anything good. So deal him 2. Guess we map token to Surveil, a Novice Inspector. We have enough mana, I guess we keep that on top. It's not really great. Play a familiar. Make them discard one of their last 2 cards, but they have a Mystical Teachings in the graveyard, so not looking great, just because that can find whatever they need. And a Moldrifter. They always have the Moldrifter, it seems. I guess they didn't cast it from before, did they? From the last pulse? I thought they did. Bojuka Bog's pretty annoying, I will say. We have an Inspector, crack the Clue. Duress. I guess we will Duress them. They will Impulse. And they cast another Breath Weapon. Fair enough. Yep, they got a Moldrifter. Drawn all the Moldrifters. I will swing for 3. There's a Refractor. A Mnemonic Wall. Gets back a Pulse of Marasa. And pretty much impossible for us to win here, I think. So we're just going to scoop it up. We drew really poorly, I think. Skyfisher and Glinthawk would have been decent. There's the Thraben Charm that we needed a million years ago. All right, let's try that one again. We did take the Omen of the Dead out, so I should probably remember that for when I lose our Okiba Gang. I was hoping that it was going to get there, but we weren't finding enough removal. Maybe that's because we took a considerable amount out, but Thraben Charms are still removal. This hand's kind of awkward because we can't turn 1 a Duress. We can turn 2 a Duress, then turn 3 a Duress, but then we don't have a familiar. I don't think this looks like a winning hand, unfortunately. Obviously, this one doesn't either. I guess we're keeping this one. This one doesn't look great either. And so we're putting back an Inspector. It's possible that I took out too much removal for this matchup. I was just thinking that they are don't have the most creatures, but they actually have a higher number of creatures than I was giving them credit for, and it's every single one of their creatures is very important to kill. So they have a Prophetic Prism. I'll draw a card here. Vault of Whispers. I can play a Refurb, and I guess just the Vault of Whispers. Kind of want to hold the Bojuka Bog a little longer. They have an island. Gorilla Shaman. Well, that made that all bad, pretty bad. Yep. Forgot about Gorilla Shaman being so backbreaking. Duress. Assuming they have any follow-up at all, we have probably just lost because we've lost all our lands. I'll play this Bojuka Bog since it's a land that doesn't get blown up. They have crop rotation, so they find Tron. Now they blow up our land and our Clue, and they have a Moldrifter. Cycle Alorian, an attack. We have a Refurb, which is pretty bad now. We'll Duress them. Yep, their hand's good enough that I think we're going to concede. Unfortunate, we got Gorilla Shamaned, but it happens. We had a pretty good match otherwise, but probably should have kept that first hand, maybe. It didn't look great. It would have been better against Gorilla Shaman, though. All right, it's 2 days later, and coming back to finish my last match, when I find out that apparently Magic Online has forgotten several of my opponents, and forgot that I lost this last match. I went 1-2, not 1-0-2. All right, on the play here, this hand's slow, but I think fine. We need an artifact to pick up the Glinthawk. Kiba Gang's going to be good later. Fanatical can sack the Inspector or maybe the Clue. But yeah, I think it's fine. On the Molta 6. So I could play a Plains. But I probably want to get this Orzhov Basilica down next turn. That lets me attack in for 1, but I think I'd rather, maybe if we're against Burn, the life will matter, but also I'll just essentially be using my mana this turn and using my mana next turn with the Inspector before we Basilica, so I think this is a little better, but if we're against some combo deck, the 2 life isn't really going to matter, and the speed of the 1 extra damage could matter a little bit, but paid off, as we are against Burn. Percussionist coming down. Refurb's not bad. We don't really have the artifacts to make it that good at the moment, but we get to play a blocker and pick up our Crossroads. This is why I like Crossroads more than Radiant Fountain. Yes, it's tapped, but it still produces colored mana, and we have very intense pips. You know, this is a single white, this is a single black when we want it to be. Lightning Bolt, they're going to get in for 3. If I don't draw anything good here, I'm pretty much just playing a Refurbished Familiar for 3. Skyfisher makes it interesting. I could just play Crossroads and Skyfisher it back. I think I'd like to wait on that a little bit until I have a little bit more mana going. But yeah, it's a little awkward. But they mulliganed, so putting them down to 2 cards here feels pretty decent. Plus they either have to bolt this or I trade with the Tomb Raider, which is not bad. Fire Blast down. Oh, looks like our League overlay also got glitched out because of the thing on MTGO, so now we're 0-0. They're going to Chain Lightning the Familiar. We'll take 3. Another Glint Hawk is not what we want. So I could Glint Hawk for the clue, which is bad, but then I hold up a Fanatical. They're only at 1 card in hand. I think I'm just playing Crossroads and then picking it back up with Skyfisher. Okiba's not something we really need to worry about, so the fact that this sets that back doesn't really matter. We just want the life gain. They do have the Bolt, which is a little annoying. I was hoping that that was going to be able to stop their aggression here. They have a Flame Breather. If we get any of our removal, we can start taking these guys off. Bauble wouldn't be bad. So now I need to either crack a clue. I guess if I'm cracking a clue, I might as well just Offering first. Because I can Offering and then I can still Glint Hawk the map token back. Yeah, it seems fine. But this gives me the ability to maybe draw something else. Cast Down's not bad, but not what we're playing this turn, obviously. I think we're just playing a Glint Hawk, picking up the map, and I think I'd rather get a black down. I don't care about the ping, but I want the extra black mana in case they play like another Flame Breather. They have a Ren's Resolve. What a top deck. Into a Lava Dart and an Alchemist. They can Lava Dart the Glint Hawk down. That's pretty good. Put us down to 7. Another flats. You can cast down the Flame Breather, play a Crossroads, and just cast down the Alchemist or the Tomb Raider. If we go for the Tomb Raider, we don't have anything for the Alchemist, and that's just going to kill us. So we can't get this Glint Hawk down because we don't have an artifact land. Maybe we should have had some of the Goldmire Bridges here. I guess we're just going to run out an Okiba Gang to trade. I think we take 3 here, and then shoot the Alchemist. Swamp is no good. We will cast the Okiba. We'll trade. They have a Needle Drop and a Synth. To a land. We get a Cast Down. Kind of surprising that we only drew 1 artifact. We have quite a few in the deck. There's a Tomb Raider. Gotta shoot the Tomb Raider. Do die to a Bolt here. But ideally we can like top deck a Lembas. That'd be really good. They just have a Mountain. I mean, Ancient Den, I guess, is playable. And lets us get our Glint Hawk. Not really amazing. They crack a Synth for another Percussionist. Swing for damage. They find another Synth. Cast down. Okay. Playing that. There's the Chain Lightning. Alright. We are dead. Well, I think that was mostly just us getting unlucky, but that's fine. We get the Compasses, Arms of Hadar, Duresses, maybe a couple. Suffocating Fumes hits the Percussionist. They might be playing like Bushwhacker, but doesn't hit Tomb Raider, doesn't hit Kessig, doesn't hit Samurai. Bauble does hit most of those. Kiba's bad. Don't know if we need as much card draw here. Cut down like that. This might be too many cast downs, but it feels like we gotta kill a Kessig Flame Breather right away. His hand's fine. Really slow with the tap lands, but we're on the play. So turn 2, we get a Inspector. Turn 3, a Lembas. Yeah, it's not great, but we're gonna give it a try. Ping them. No 1-drops, nice. Oh, and we get a Compass. Ping them again. think we'll play the Inspector. Still is just better for haste creatures. Plus, if they do have like a Cast into the Fire, I'd rather the Compass is something I can pick up right away. There's a Flame Breather. Probably just going to cast that down right away. Tithing Blade would be nice, actually. Ancient Den is interesting. Means we could play Ancient Den, Lembas, Refurb. It's not bad. Or we could just play like Cast Down Compass, but we don't really need to do either of those. And I definitely want to just cast this down, so I think we're doing that with the Bojuka Bog. I don't really see a reason to attack. We might give up an extra damage on us, and we need to really take control of the game before we're going to be able to race them effectively. Play an Epicure, and they raise us. Okay. Twice? That's crazy. Okay. Interesting. So in that case, I can just play Vault, Compass, Refurb. So I didn't want to race them, but they wanted to raise us. Yeah. I'm going to play the Vault so that if they have another one, they don't have the chance to blow up my white source. And now that they've set themselves back lands and haven't really showed too many creatures anyway, I actually do think I'll swing here. I guess we're trading 1 for 1 here because I'm not going to block this. But yeah, with the Lembas and the Compass and everything, I actually think we will go on the offensive now. They changed the game a little bit when they took 4 lands off the board. There's a Ren's Resolve for a Mountain and a Synth. They're going to swing. Swamp. I think we'll just play the Lembas. I don't think we want to cast down. Obviously, if they get another Kessig, it's good, but we're seeing a Synth here. Only 1 card in hand. I think we'll get rid of it for something else. Ancient Den's not really what we wanted. But we'll crack in for 3. We have a card draw next turn. There's their Synth. Tomb Raider is annoying. They swing. Another Inspector. I'm gonna crack a Clue first. Tithing Blade. That just eats an Epicure, but it's more mana efficient. Could just leave back everybody now. Yeah, I guess since we're eating the Epicure, I'll swing for 1 here. I'll offer this trade. I'll Tithing them. We're also at a high enough life total. If we can flip a Tithing Blade, that can really help us a lot. They get a Lightning Bolt off top, probably just going to eat the Familiar. At least that's something to use with the Tithing Blade. They're going to crack a Blood for a Mountain. Discarding a Mountain, that is. There's the Bolt. Another land. Into another raise? No, a Chain Lightning. Okay. Take our guys off the board. There's a Bauble. That's pretty good. We're going to play that, so I guess we'll just Inspector, draw a card. Tithing Blade. It's tough, because if they get multiple creatures, I'd rather have the Grimbauble in hand, but if they get a Kessig, I'd rather have a Tithing Blade in hand, and I'm more scared of the Kessig, although they're probably just going to start cracking Synths, so the Tithing Blade's not going to eat a Kessig Flame Breather anyway. So I guess I will go for the mana efficient play and Tithing Blade here. If they didn't have these on board, I probably was going to save the Tithing Blade for the Flame Breather, because that's the thing I'm most scared of now. They get an Epicure, play that, not bad. So a land wouldn't be terrible. It would let us craft a Tithing Blade and play a Bauble. Refurb's not bad either, because we can take their card and pick off the Samurai. So we'll do that. It's another Synth. That's a pretty good one to get rid of. Kill the Samurai. And I think I will trade 1 for 1 here, since in damage, because the Tithing Blades are going to be good to start pinging them. Plus, I'm going to sack this Grim Bauble to dig for something this turn, I think. It's a decent thing to pick up, but I have plenty of other guys to pick up and nothing else to use this 3 mana on, unless I want to sack the Lembas, which isn't a bad idea either. They crack their Synth, swing with the Epicure, crack the Bauble, Omen of the Dead, and Thraben Inspector. So I only have a Thraben. No, I have a Refurb in the grave too. So if I put Thraben Inspector on top, I can play that, crack it, Omen, and get Refurb. That seems really good. So let's do that. Swing for 2, Thraben. Make sure we save double black here. Crack a Clue, play the Omen, get the Refurb, cast that. It's just a mountain, that's fine. Another mountain off the top for them. All right, got there in game 2. So they also have Epicures, which makes sense. I still don't think we're seeing enough for the Fumes to be that good. They're better than a Duress, though. I mean, Duress is nice early. It's not bad in this version where they have the synthesizers are a little more relevant, I think, but also the Ren's Resolves are really good. So I really don't hate a couple Duresses, so I think we'll just send it back. Trying to make me eat my words. This one's also bad. I guess this is keepable. The fact that they brought in Raise makes me kind of want to not put back a land, but I also really kind of want to put back a land and an Inspector and then have the Omen Skyfisher loop. I think we gotta do that. Am I going to get greedy and keep the Ancient Den too? Probably, because Refurb's kind of a dead draw otherwise. We didn't see any artifact hate, so I'm gonna keep the Ancient Den. I assume they brought in raises because they saw the Orzhov Basilica, and my deck often plays a Basilica. I'm only playing the one, so raise isn't like phenomenal against us, but Glinthawk is fine. Play a Thraben Inspector. They just had a Tomb Raider with no Great Furnace, which is pretty nice. They could definitely still have an Epicure or whatever here, though. They don't. They are going to attack. So it could just be a bluff, or they could have an End the Festivities, but I think if they're going to end the festivities for one Inspector, I'm kind of fine with that. I'm not in the business of giving red free damage. Might just cast and fire, yeah, my Den. Yep, that's pretty bad. Now we need another white source. Vault is not the worst, but we did get greedy keeping that, and it's biting us for sure. Ren's Resolve. There's a Raise and an Alchemist. Yeah, so they can just blow up my swamp, I guess. Pretty annoying that they're just land destruction now. On a red Panza. We're drawing some lands, which is not bad. As soon as we get a second land, we can at least crack this clue. They're not doing much else is the good news. They do get an Alchemist here. Well, I guess we're just playing a Vault and passing. We'd be in a pretty reasonable spot if we just had kept the planes. I guess they have Lava Dart, so they're just going to Lava Dart the Inspector. I still think that's just fine, though. If we're in a really bad position, we might Omen of the Dead back the Inspector. Not this turn, obviously, with the clue, but otherwise. Okay, they're going to Festivities. That's fine. Better than a Lava Dart in this situation, although we take an extra one. And another Tomb Raider. You play all the 1/2s you want. Lembas is okay. Tithing Blade is kind of lackluster. If we can find a plains with the Lembas, then we can play the Glinthawk and have a decent blocker. Probably dies to a Bolt, but I don't think we're playing Tithing Blade this turn. They are going to ping us. We're going to keep that plains. And I think we just play the Glinthawk. Obviously, it's more enticing for them to bolt it, but like a Novice Inspector just blocks here. It saves us a damage, but like on the off chance they have 0 bolts in hand, this Glinthawk holds back both their guys. And even if they kill it, I can just Omen it back. There's a Percussionist. That's annoying with the Tomb Raiders and the Bolt. So down to 6 here with the Alchemist. Down to 10, that is. Duress, I would love to Duress here. Can I afford to? I guess I could Duress, Skyfisher, and then pick up the Plains Novice Inspector. Kind of need to do that to get 2 guys down anyway. And slow this Alchemist. Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing. Raise and a Lava Dart. I mean, Lava Dart they still get to use from the grave, but they have to sack a land for it. Raise they also have to sack a land for. I guess we take the Raise. I really don't want them taking us off this white mana. We kind of need it pretty badly. And they have 2 spells to cast either way, so yeah, we'll just do that. Skyfisher, Ping, Plains, Plan Inspector. So they swing, we go block, block, take 2, 3. They Lava Dart the Skyfisher for 4. We could just be dead, but especially if they get something off this Percussionist. We're down to 7 right now. They get another Lava Dart. That's pretty good. Actually, that's lethal, isn't it? Yeah, it's 4 damage from the 2 darts, plus 4 from the Alchemist. Yep, I believe they have seen the line. Unfortunate. Apparently somewhere it's still remembered that that was match 5. So we got a 2-3. Not obviously exciting. We could have played a little bit better. We could have drawn a little bit better. These are not as good as Deadly Dispute, but I mean, they're fine. I don't think this deck is worse off. I think it's in a fine spot right now. Maybe just went up against some tough matches or didn't play amazing. In general, though, this is still a very fun deck. I like it a lot. If you like it, I think it's still going to be a fine meta to keep playing it. So, make sure to get out there. Thank you very much to my patrons, including my $10 patron, Howard Granger. Really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.